Welcome to the Talk the Talk Club podcast where I talk about anything and everything. We all have people in our lives we prefer to stay away from. And if we could choose how far, we'd probably choose a different planet. Because what are the chances you'll run into them on Mars? Your only neighbors would be Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And don't believe the rumors. Living on Mars won't give you cancer, but Amazon will. Notice Jeff Bezos didn't start off bald. My conspiracy theory is every package is like holding a nuclear bomb. Soon enough, we'll all be running around looking like Jeff Bezos. Gotta love that overnight shipping. Thank you, Prime. Thank you. But back on topic, for some of you, even moving to another planet isn't far enough. And if you're listening, thinking to yourself, I've never felt that way about someone, you're probably the person I'm talking about. Everyone around you isn't changing their numbers and unfollowing you by coincidence. And if you're still delusional about the situation, I'm here to give you 5 traits to know if you're being toxic. Number 1, always in drama. If drama seems to follow you everywhere you go, it's probably not a coincidence. Toxic people thrive in dramatic situations. They inflame emotions and create conflict. Not only that, they love stirring the pot to see what happens. People are often toxic because they have no interest in being healthy or stable when it comes to relationships. If you're yelling at Larry every morning to get a real job because you don't like the fact that he flips signs for a living, you're being toxic. Larry was probably a circus clown in his past life, and he's just trying to fill the void by entertaining strangers. You have no right talking to Larry like that. That's Karen behavior and shouldn't be tolerated in America. And for those who don't know, that's my Republican redneck impression. You're welcome. Number 2, always need attention. Do you consistently call and text people, then show up at their house uninvited? Or do you need emotional support for everything, but unwilling to give that same emotional support back? Toxic people take all that you have without giving much back. They have a heightened level of self-esteem and a need to showcase their greatness to receive affirmation. If you show up to an all-white party dressed in black, you're being toxic. Showing up looking like a 90s bank robber or you just got back from a funeral shows the only thing that actually died was your manners. If you really want attention, try sitting on a beer bottle and making it disappear. You'll be a hit at the party. I promise you. And trust me, I've been to college parties before. You can get at least 2 up there before it starts crowning. Go Gators. Number 3, doesn't respect boundaries. If someone has been clear time and time again about their needs and you continue to disrespect those needs, you're being toxic. Healthy relationships are based on trust and the ability to respect boundaries. Toxic people just can't do that. If your friend tells you not to call them after 9 p.m. and you continue to call them at 9:01 to tell them some random stuff like how you got a boner watching Sesame Street or your first gay experience at band camp, you're being disrespectful and quite frankly bizarre. Like, what part of Sesame Street turned you on? Was it Count Dracula deep-throating numbers or finding out Bert and Ernie share the same gay experience as you did? Like, we all know what goes on at band camp. And if you don't, just remember to wipe down the flute before you play it, or you'll get pink eye. Number 4, manipulate others to get what you want. Do you take advantage of people by lying, bending the truth, exaggerating, or leaving out information so others can take certain actions or have a certain opinion about someone else? Toxic people do whatever it takes, even if it means hurting other people. I'll give you an example. Shaving your head bald and pretending you have cancer to guilt trip your husband into washing dishes would be a form of manipulation. Now he's probably going to go into debt trying to buy hats to cover that monstrosity you call a head. Granted, he's probably happy he doesn't have to deal with your nagging for long. Hear me out. If you're being that manipulative in the first place, can you really blame the guy? Lying and manipulating others is wrong no matter how you look at it. Number 5, substance abuse. Another toxic behavior is the abuse of substance like drugs and alcohol. These behaviors become toxic when the person continues to harm others, not including themselves. And if you're not sure you're abusing drugs, ask yourself these questions. Why do I prefer crack over bacon and eggs in the morning? Why do I spend 95% of my time in the back of a stranger's car? And here's how you know you really hit rock bottom. When you find yourself hanging out with the Kardashians. 3 hours with them is probably like taking meth, smoking crack, and driving while drunk, listening to Kanye West talk about fashion. I know, an absolute mess. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Get better, Pete. Now, if you exhibit any other traits that I name, number 1, you might want to stop hanging out with Kim. But more importantly, know that there's always room to improve and grow, not only for you, but your family members as well. If you found this information helpful, share it with somebody in hopes it will help them too. Once again, it's the Talk the Talk Club podcast. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time.